Have you ever felt like your day slips away in chaos, being busy but getting nothing truly done? Trust me, all it takes is just 5 minutes every morning to plan your day in 5 minutes, and you'll gain control of your time, stay focused, and achieve more than you expect. Let's dive into this simple method right now. When it comes to making the most out of your day, the first and most powerful step you can take is identifying your top 3 priorities. These are often called your MITs, most important tasks, and they serve as the backbone of a productive schedule. By narrowing your focus to 3 key things, you protect yourself from the overwhelm of endless to-do lists and gain clarity about what truly matters. Imagine waking up in the morning and instead of stressing about 15 different tasks scattered across sticky notes or apps, you have just 3 objectives guiding you like a compass. This sense of direction allows your brain to conserve energy, since you don't waste time debating what to do next. It also lowers anxiety because you already know the answer to the question, what's important today? Most people fall into the trap of thinking productivity means doing more, checking off as many boxes as possible, and staying busy from morning to night. But the truth is, productivity is about impact, not activity. A person can spend 10 hours answering emails, cleaning their desk, and running errands, and still end the day feeling dissatisfied. Why? Because none of those actions moved them closer to their true goals. By contrast, someone who spends 3 focused hours on their top priorities may accomplish more in a single morning than others do in an entire week. This is the magic of the MIT method. It forces you to evaluate the difference between being busy and being effective. Choosing those 3 tasks requires a bit of reflection. Ask yourself, if I only accomplish 3 things today, which ones will create the biggest positive outcome? The answer might be finishing a project proposal, making a crucial phone call, or finally tackling a piece of work you've been postponing for weeks. Priorities are not always urgent, but they are always meaningful. Sometimes your top priority is not even work-related. It might be spending time with your child, exercising, or attending a medical appointment. Life is not just about professional achievements, it's about balance. By deliberately including personal priorities alongside professional ones, you ensure that your daily actions align with your values. When selecting your 3 priorities, clarity is critical. Vague tasks such as work on project or get healthier won't do much to help. Instead, break them into specific actionable steps. For instance, complete draft of the report, run 3 kilometers, or call Sarah to discuss partnership details. This way, you have a clear finish line and you'll know exactly when the task is complete. Without specificity, your brain lingers in ambiguity, and that uncertainty drains motivation. Another advantage of limiting yourself to 3 tasks is psychological. Your brain craves small wins, and every time you check off one of your top priorities, you experience a surge of accomplishment. This builds momentum, which then fuels the motivation to tackle the next priority. By the time you complete all 3, you'll not only have tangible results, but also the confidence that you're capable of handling even bigger challenges. On the other hand, when you load yourself with 10 or 15 priorities, you rarely complete them all, leaving you with a sense of failure and fatigue. 3 is manageable, realistic, and empowering. Of course, identifying your top 3 tasks doesn't mean ignoring everything else. It simply means you place them above all other commitments. The rest of your tasks can still fit into your day if time and energy allow, but your priorities always come first. This shift in focus transforms how you make decisions. For example, when a new request pops up, you'll immediately evaluate whether it interferes with your priorities. If it does, you'll either decline politely or postpone it. This protects your time and keeps you in control, rather than being pulled in every direction by external demands. Think about how many times you've reached the end of the day feeling exhausted but unfulfilled. That usually happens because you let other people's agendas dictate your time. Urgent emails, unplanned meetings, and random tasks creep in and take over, while your meaningful goals remain untouched. By committing to your top 3 tasks, you draw a clear line. You send a message to yourself and to others. This is what matters today. It's a form of self-respect. To make this system even more effective, pair it with your natural energy patterns. Most people have peak hours when they feel the most alert, creative, and focused, often in the morning. Schedule your highest priority tasks for these hours. By doing so, you maximize the quality of your output and minimize the time wasted fighting fatigue or distraction. Leave less demanding tasks like answering emails or organizing files for periods when your energy naturally dips. Aligning priorities with your body's rhythm turns productivity into a sustainable habit instead of a daily battle. There's also a long-term benefit. When you consistently focus on 3 priorities each day over weeks and months, you make significant progress toward bigger goals. Big projects often feel overwhelming because they appear too large to tackle in one sitting. But when you break them down into daily priorities, you gradually chip away at them until they're complete. It's like climbing a mountain one step at a time. Slow, steady progress eventually gets you to the summit. This creates a compounding effect. Each small step builds momentum, and soon you look back amazed at how much you've achieved. Identifying priorities is also a way to practice self-awareness. It forces you to ask, what truly matters to me right now? Am I focusing on tasks that align with my long-term vision, or am I just reacting to whatever comes my way? This kind of reflection helps you avoid the trap of living on autopilot. Many people spend years chasing distractions, only to realize too late that they've neglected what they actually care about. By setting daily priorities, you ensure your actions match your intentions. You might wonder how to deal with unexpected changes. After all, no plan is perfect and emergencies happen. The good news is that having only 3 top tasks makes it easier to adapt. If something urgent arises, you can quickly reassess which tasks still matter most. Perhaps 1 can be postponed or 2 can be simplified. Because you're not juggling a dozen priorities, you have the flexibility to adjust without losing focus entirely. Finally, the habit of identifying 3 priorities only takes a minute or 2, but its impact lasts the entire day. It's like programming your internal GPS before starting the journey. You know the destination, and even if you take a few detours, you'll eventually get back on track. Over time, this practice sharpens your decision-making, strengthens your discipline, and boosts your confidence. You'll no longer measure success by how busy you are, but by how purposeful your actions feel. And that shift changes everything. In summary, the discipline of choosing your top 3 priorities each day is a simple yet transformative practice. It clears away the noise, channels your energy toward what matters most, and leaves you with a sense of control and accomplishment. It's the foundation upon which all other productivity strategies are built. Without it, your day risks becoming a blur of distractions. With it, every day becomes a step toward the life you want to create. Once you have identified your top 3 priorities, the next step to planning your day in just 5 minutes is to divide your time into blocks. This method, often called time blocking, is one of the most effective ways to take control of your schedule. Rather than letting your day unfold randomly or relying on endless to-do lists, you deliberately assign specific chunks of time to specific tasks. Think of it as building a map for your day, where each section of time has a clear purpose. By doing this, you reduce uncertainty, eliminate decision fatigue, and give your brain a rhythm to follow. Many people underestimate the power of structure, thinking it makes life rigid or restrictive. But in reality, time blocking does the opposite. It creates freedom, because when your important tasks are secured within their own blocks, you no longer carry the constant mental burden of wondering when you'll get to them. You also stop multitasking, which has been proven to reduce efficiency and increase mistakes. Instead, you immerse yourself fully in one activity at a time, confident that the other important tasks already have their rightful place in the day. Let's imagine a typical workday. Without time blocking, you might start your morning by checking emails, get sidetracked by social media, attend a meeting that runs too long, and then realize it's already mid-afternoon before you even touch your main project. The day slips away in fragments, leaving you stressed and unaccomplished. With time blocking, however, you begin with intention. For instance, you might assign 8:10 a.m. to working on your most challenging project, 10:11 accounts to meetings, and 11:30 to email replies. Lunch, breaks, errands, and even relaxation all have their own place on the schedule. Suddenly, the day feels coherent rather than chaotic. One of the most effective ways to implement time blocking is to match tasks to your natural energy levels. Most people have peak concentration in the morning, so placing high-priority, mentally demanding work in that block makes sense. Afternoons often bring a dip in focus, which is a perfect time for lighter, routine tasks like administrative work or organizing files. By aligning blocks with your body's rhythms, you maximize productivity without burning out. It's like surfing a wave. You ride the natural flow instead of fighting against it. Another benefit of time blocking is that it naturally limits procrastination. When you see a block of time reserved specifically for a task, it's harder to justify postponing it. For example, if you've decided 2 or 3 sciences for writing a report, you don't have to debate whether to start now or later. The block tells you when to act, removing the decision altogether. This is why time blocking is often described as an antidote to procrastination. It creates accountability to your own plan. Some people resist time blocking because they fear it doesn't allow for flexibility. But in truth, time blocking thrives when paired with buffer zones. By leaving small gaps between major tasks or setting aside a block for overflow or unexpected issues, you protect yourself against disruptions. Life rarely goes exactly as planned, and time blocking acknowledges this by giving you a cushion. Rather than being derailed by one unexpected phone call or urgent email, you simply adjust within the framework of your schedule. Time blocking also supports balance between work and personal life. Many people focus solely on professional tasks while neglecting rest, family, or hobbies. But with time blocking, you can deliberately schedule not only your projects and meetings, but also your exercise routine, dinner with loved ones, or even downtime for reading or relaxation. By placing these activities on equal footing with work tasks, you give them the importance they deserve. This prevents burnout and reminds you that productivity isn't just about output, it's about living a well-rounded life. A practical tip for implementing this system is to use digital calendars or apps. Tools like Google Calendar allow you to color-code your blocks, set reminders, and visually see how your day unfolds. For example, blue might represent deep work, green for meetings, yellow for personal commitments, and red for urgent matters. This visual organization makes it easier to grasp your day at a glance and helps reinforce the discipline of sticking to your blocks. For those who prefer analog methods, a simple notebook or planner works just as well. The key is consistency. Writing down your blocks every morning ensures you begin the day with intention. An interesting aspect of time blocking is how it reshapes your perception of time. Without structure, hours tend to blend together, and you often feel like the day has slipped away unnoticed. But when you divide your day into blocks, you begin to see time as a series of opportunities. Each block is like a container waiting to be filled, and the more deliberately you fill it, the more satisfying the day feels. Instead of asking, "Where did the day go?" you can look at your schedule and say, "I know exactly where my time went, and it went to the right things." It's also important to remember that time blocking is not about perfection. Some days a block might run over or need to be moved. That's natural. What matters is not rigidly following the plan, but having a framework that keeps you anchored. Even if you only stick to 70 or 80% of your blocks, you'll likely accomplish far more than if you had no plan at all. Over time, you'll get better at estimating how long tasks take and adjusting your blocks accordingly. This practice sharpens your time awareness, helping you become more realistic and strategic. Perhaps the most empowering part of time blocking is how it gives you permission to focus. In a world filled with constant notifications, distractions, and competing demands, dedicating uninterrupted time to a single activity feels rare. But within a time block, you can silence distractions, set boundaries, and immerse yourself completely. The result is not only higher productivity but also deeper satisfaction. You feel present, engaged, and in control. In the long run, adopting time blocking as part of your 5-minute planning routine ensures that your priorities are not just ideas, but actions embedded into your daily reality. It transforms your day from a series of reactions into a deliberate sequence of choices. Every block you design is a commitment to yourself, a statement that your time is valuable and deserves to be used wisely. And when you live by that principle, you begin to experience not just productive days, but fulfilling ones. Even with clear priorities and a structured schedule, no day unfolds without obstacles. Life is full of surprises. Some small, like an unexpected email or a coworker stopping by to chat, and some larger, like a sudden meeting or technical issue that throws off your workflow. That is why the third step in planning your day in just 5 minutes is to anticipate challenges and prepare solutions in advance. This habit, though it only takes a minute or two, can save you hours of stress and frustration later. Most of us underestimate how much disruption we face during a typical day. Studies show that the average professional is interrupted dozens of times per day, and it often takes several minutes to refocus after each interruption. These distractions add up, eating away at productivity and leaving you wondering where your time went. By pausing at the start of the day to consider what might get in your way, You prepare yourself mentally and practically. This turns interruptions from chaotic surprises into manageable events. For example, let's say you know you have 3 important tasks for the day: finishing a report, attending a strategy meeting, and exercising in the evening. Before diving in, you ask yourself, what could interfere with these? Perhaps your inbox will flood with urgent messages, the meeting might run long, or family responsibilities could pop up. Once you recognize these possibilities, you can create simple strategies. Limit email checks to 2 specific times, set an agenda for the meeting to keep it focused, or plan a backup exercise time if the evening gets busy. By visualizing challenges, you reduce their power to derail you. This process is similar to athletes visualizing obstacles before a competition. A runner might imagine bad weather, a slippery track, or a strong competitor, then mentally rehearse how they'll respond. When the actual challenge arrives, they don't panic. They've already seen it in their mind and know what to do. You can apply the same principle to daily life. Anticipating challenges primes your brain to respond with calm efficiency instead of stress. One useful technique is to create an if-then strategy. This is a simple formula. If X happens, then I will do Y. For example, if I receive an unexpected phone call during my deep work block, then I will let it go to voicemail and return the call at 2:00 p.m. If my meeting runs over, then I will shorten my afternoon email block by 15 minutes to compensate. If I feel low energy in the afternoon, then I will take a brisk 10-minute walk instead of reaching for more coffee. These micro decisions made in advance act like guardrails that keep you aligned with your priorities. Anticipating challenges also includes acknowledging your own tendencies. Maybe you know you procrastinate when faced with a big project, or you tend to scroll through your phone when you feel stuck. Recognizing these personal habits is just as important as anticipating external disruptions. By admitting, "I usually avoid starting because it feels overwhelming," you can plan a solution such as breaking the task into a 10-minute starter block. By acknowledging, "I waste time on my phone when I'm bored," you can preemptively put your phone in another room during focused work. Self-awareness turns potential weaknesses into areas of strength. Some challenges, of course, are unavoidable and unpredictable. A child might suddenly get sick, your internet might go down, or a client might need urgent attention. The key is not to eliminate unpredictability, but to build resilience. That's why it helps to leave buffer zones in your schedule, small pockets of time where you can absorb the unexpected without sacrificing your top priorities. Even 15-30 minutes of buffer time in the morning and afternoon can act as insurance, giving you space to adapt without spiraling into frustration. Another overlooked challenge is decision fatigue. Throughout the day, you are faced with dozens of small choices: what to eat, when to reply, whether to say yes or no, which task to do first. These constant decisions drain your willpower. By anticipating this, you can minimize low-value decisions in advance. For instance, decide your outfit the night before, prepare lunch ahead of time, or set a rule for checking messages. Freeing your mind from trivial choices preserves energy for meaningful work. Preparing for challenges also extends to emotional setbacks. Some days you wake up feeling unmotivated, discouraged, or anxious. If you expect this possibility, you can create rituals to lift your mood. For instance, listening to uplifting music, practicing a few minutes of gratitude, or starting with a small win to build momentum. By planning these responses, you reduce the risk of an unproductive day just because your emotions wavered. It's also wise to plan for interpersonal challenges. Perhaps a colleague tends to interrupt, or your manager frequently changes priorities. Anticipating these dynamics allows you to set boundaries respectfully. For example, if you know someone often drops by to chat, you can prepare a polite phrase like, "I'd love to catch up later, but right now, I need to finish this task." This small act of foresight protects your focus while still maintaining relationships. Over time, this practice of anticipating challenges becomes second nature. At first, it may feel like extra effort, but soon you'll instinctively scan your day for potential obstacles and address them mentally in seconds. It's like developing a sixth sense for productivity. You see the roadblocks before they appear, and you already know how to navigate around them. The result is a calmer, more confident approach to your day. Ultimately, the goal of this step is not to create a perfect plan immune to disruption, but to cultivate adaptability. Productivity is not about rigid control. It's about moving steadily toward your goals even when circumstances shift. By anticipating challenges and preparing solutions, you transform interruptions from crises into inconveniences, and you maintain momentum no matter what the day throws at you. This proactive mindset separates those who constantly feel overwhelmed from those who remain steady and effective. It's the difference between reacting to life and leading your life. And when you combine this with your priorities and time-blocked schedule, you set yourself up for days that are not just productive, but resilient. Productivity is not only about what you accomplish, but also about how you sustain your energy throughout the day. That is why one of the smartest strategies in planning your day in 5 minutes is to integrate your work with personal habits that support your well-being. When you intentionally weave small, healthy routines into your schedule, you create balance and resilience, ensuring that you don't just power through tasks, but actually thrive as you do them. Without this balance, even the best priorities and schedules will collapse under fatigue, stress, or burnout. Think about the last time you had an incredibly busy day but forgot to drink enough water, skipped lunch, or sat glued to your chair for hours. By evening, even if you managed to finish some tasks, you probably felt drained, irritable, and unable to enjoy the rest of your day. On the other hand, when you take small breaks, stretch, move your body, and fuel yourself properly, the same workload feels much lighter and more manageable. This is the essence of habit integration. It transforms productivity from a sprint that exhausts you into a sustainable rhythm you can maintain day after day. One of the simplest habits to integrate is hydration. Many people underestimate how much water impacts focus, energy, and mood. Dehydration, even at mild levels, can cause fatigue and reduce cognitive performance. By scheduling small reminders to drink water during your time blocks, you not only protect your health but also sharpen your mind. Something as simple as a glass of water between tasks can reset your body and help you re-engage with clarity. Movement is another crucial habit. Sitting for long periods is linked to both health issues and reduced concentration. You don't need an hour-long workout in the middle of the day to reap benefits. Instead, try micro movements, a 2-minute stretch, a short walk around the room, or even standing up to take a few deep breaths. These small actions break the physical stagnation, refresh your circulation, and signal your brain that it's time to refocus. Scheduling these mini breaks into your daily plan ensures they happen consistently, rather than relying on willpower alone. Nutrition is equally important. Skipping meals or relying on heavy processed foods can create energy crashes that sabotage your focus. By integrating simple, nourishing meals and snacks into your plan, you keep your body fueled for steady productivity. This doesn't mean overcomplicating your diet. It simply means choosing foods that sustain energy, such as fruits, nuts, or balanced meals, and placing them strategically in your schedule. For example, if you know you tend to slump in the mid-afternoon, plan a healthy snack before that time to stabilize your energy. Rest is another essential personal habit to integrate. Our culture often glorifies busyness and treats rest as unproductive, but science shows that rest is a productivity tool. Short breaks throughout the day prevent burnout and improve creativity. Even 5 minutes of mindful breathing, stepping outside for fresh air, or closing your eyes to recharge can dramatically increase your efficiency afterward. By intentionally planning rest periods into your schedule, you ensure that recovery is part of your workflow, not an afterthought. Beyond physical needs, emotional and mental well-being should also be woven into your day. For example, starting the morning with a gratitude practice or journaling for a few minutes can set a positive tone. Checking in with a loved one, listening to uplifting music, or spending a few minutes in silence can all nurture your emotional balance. These habits may seem small, but they provide resilience against stress and keep your mindset aligned with positivity. When your mind is clear and calm, your priorities are easier to accomplish. The integration of personal habits also creates a sense of harmony between your professional and personal life. Too often, people treat these areas as separate or even conflicting, as if success in one requires sacrifice in the other. But when you deliberately schedule healthy routines alongside work, you create synergy. Your personal habits fuel your work, and your productivity gives you more time and energy for life outside work. Instead of competition between the two, you create cooperation. Technology can help make habit integration seamless. Many apps allow you to set reminders for hydration, movement, or mindfulness. Smartwatches can nudge you to stand or stretch at regular intervals. Even a simple calendar notification can ensure you take a break at the right time. These tools act as external accountability systems until the habits become second nature. It's also important to personalize the habits you choose. Not everyone thrives on the same routines. Some people find a mid-morning walk energizing, while others prefer a quick meditation. Some may love journaling, while others find listening to music more effective. The key is to experiment and discover which habits recharge you best. Once you know, you can deliberately integrate those habits into your daily blocks. Over time, this practice transforms the quality of your days. Instead of feeling like you're merely grinding through tasks, you begin to feel supported by your schedule. You no longer sacrifice your health or happiness for the sake of productivity. Instead, your health and happiness become the foundation of your productivity. This shift creates not only better results in your work, but also a deeper sense of satisfaction in your life. Consider how powerful this integration becomes in the long run. A person who consistently combines work with supportive habits will likely achieve more over the years than someone who constantly burns out from overwork. The reason is simple: sustainability. Productivity isn't about how much you can squeeze into a single day. It's about how you can maintain high performance over weeks, months, and years. By nurturing your body and mind daily, you build endurance for the long journey toward your bigger goals. In short, integrating personal habits into your daily plan ensures that your productivity doesn't come at the expense of your well-being. It turns your schedule into more than a list of tasks. It becomes a balanced framework that honors both achievement and health. And when you live this way, you don't just complete your priorities, you enjoy the process of completing them. That enjoyment is what makes productivity not just effective, but meaningful. The final step in planning your day in 5 minutes is to take a brief moment to review your plan and make a conscious commitment to follow through. This may seem like a small detail compared to identifying priorities, blocking time, or preparing for challenges, but it is the glue that holds everything together. Without this final step, your plan remains theoretical. With it, your plan becomes a personal contract, a promise to yourself that today will be lived with intention. The act of reviewing your plan does more than just refresh your memory about what's on your schedule. It engages your mind in a process of visualization. When you glance back at your 3 top priorities, your time blocks, and your supportive habits, you're not just reading words or looking at a calendar, you're mentally rehearsing the day ahead. You imagine yourself starting that report at 9 a.m., walking into the afternoon meeting prepared, or finishing your workout in the evening. This mental rehearsal activates the same parts of the brain that fire when you actually do those things. In essence, you are pre-living the day, which makes it far more likely that you'll follow through when the moment arrives. Commitment is the second half of this step, and it's what transforms a plan into action. Anyone can write down tasks or block out hours, but commitment is the internal decision to honor that plan even when distractions, temptations, or fatigue try to pull you away. When you commit, you create an inner anchor. You no longer ask yourself, should I do this task now or later? Because the decision has already been made. You simply act. This reduces the mental resistance that often causes procrastination. A simple but powerful way to strengthen commitment is to articulate it. Some people find it helpful to say their plan out loud. Today I will finish the proposal, attend the meeting with focus, and go for a run at 6 p.m. Others prefer to write a brief affirmation at the end of their plan. I'm committed to my priorities today. These small acts of self-communication reinforce your intent. By hearing or seeing your commitment, you transform it from a vague idea into a declared statement. Another method is to pair your commitment with a sense of identity. Instead of merely telling yourself, I need to get these tasks done, you say, I am the kind of person who follows through on what matters. Identity-based commitment is powerful because it ties your daily actions to your self-image. When you view yourself as disciplined, reliable, and purposeful, you naturally behave in ways that align with that identity. Each time you honor your plan, you reinforce that self-image, creating a positive cycle of confidence and consistency. Of course, commitment doesn't mean perfection. Life is unpredictable, and there will be days when unexpected circumstances disrupt your plan. But reviewing and committing also prepares you mentally for that possibility. By reminding yourself of your core priorities, you can adapt without losing focus. Even if one time block collapses or one habit slips, your overarching intent remains intact. You can recalibrate and continue, rather than abandoning the entire day to chaos. This review process also provides a sense of closure to your planning ritual. Without it, you might still feel uncertain, wondering if you missed something important. But by taking those final 30 seconds to read over your plan, you reassure yourself that everything essential has been accounted for. You begin the day not with hesitation, but with confidence, knowing that your most valuable time is already spoken for. The confidence sets the tone for everything that follows. There's also a psychological effect at play here. Commitment taps into the principle of consistency, a powerful force in human behavior. Once we make a decision and declare it to ourselves, we feel a strong drive to act consistently with that decision. This is why people who publicly commit to goals are more likely to achieve them. Even when your commitment is private, the same principle applies. You want your actions to align with your plan because inconsistency creates discomfort. By reviewing and committing, you leverage this natural tendency in your favor. Another benefit of this final step is emotional grounding. It's easy to feel anxious about everything you have to do, especially when your schedule is full. But when you look at your plan and reaffirm it, you shift from anxiety to control. You tell yourself, yes, I have many responsibilities, but I also have a clear way forward. That shift in mindset reduces stress and helps you approach the day with calm determination rather than frantic energy. Over time, this habit becomes a ritual of self-trust. Each morning, when you review your plan and commit, you're essentially telling yourself, I can count on me. That trust is invaluable. It builds resilience because even when external circumstances are uncertain, you have confidence in your own ability to navigate them. And when you consistently keep your commitments, you strengthen your self-discipline. You prove to yourself, day after day, that your word to yourself matters. In the long run, this practice of quick review and commitment accumulates into something much larger than a daily routine. It becomes a way of life. You stop drifting aimlessly or reacting blindly to circumstances. Instead, you live with purpose, guided each day by conscious intention. You accomplish not just more tasks, but the right tasks, and you do so with a sense of alignment between your goals, your values, and your actions. That alignment is what creates true fulfillment. So the next time you plan your day in 5 minutes, don't rush to close the notebook or app as soon as the plan is written. Take those last 30 seconds to breathe, review, and commit. It's the smallest part of the process, yet it holds the greatest power. Because it's in that moment, not when you write your priorities, not when you draw your time blocks, but when you commit, that your day truly begins. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with your friends so we can all start our mornings productively with Plan Your Day in 5 minutes. See you in the next video.